Industry is useless without transport. In an age of poor roads and no railways, moving goods was a huge problem. The answer was a monumental engineering project. Between 1760 and 1850, navvies dug nearly 5,000 miles of canals to carry 30 million tonnes of cargo. But barges didn't have engines. Keeping the freight moving created a unique worst job. This is all very calm and peaceful and idyllic, isn't it? Except that this was the M1 of its day. All the way along here, there would have been queues of barges waiting to get through to the far side of the Pennines so they could deliver their goods to the mills and factories. Why were they queuing here? Well, it's easy to pull a barge along by horse when you've got a towpath, but when you get to that tunnel, there was no towpath, so no horse. And at that moment, in the best traditions of the worst jobs in history, the job was taken over by a poor employee of the canal company whose task it was to drag the barge all the way through that tunnel using only the power of his legs. And he was known as the legger. Fred?
Yes?
Can I go on your boat?
You certainly can, Tony.
Listen, why did they build the tunnel so narrow? If they built it wider, you could have put a towpath down the side and then a horse could have dragged the barges through.
One of the things is the cost. I mean, initially they said this tunnel would cost about £56,000. The figure actually went up to £125,000. If you can imagine the extra expense of putting the towpath in here as well.
It's like the Channel Tunnel, isn't it?
Just a bit, yeah.
How long is this thing?
3¼ miles. It's the longest, highest, deepest canal tunnel in this country.
Oh, stop boasting. So I'm going to have to pull this boat 3½ miles.
You certainly are, Tony.
Oh. Do I get up on here?
Yes, you do. I'll just throw this rock on, Tony.
Right. One now.
Yeah. Right, what I want to do now is line your back here with your feet onto that side of the tunnel.
Line on my back?
Certainly line your back. Nice straight position. Feet onto the side of the tunnel, just so you can reach nicely.
Yeah.
Just leave a bit of room for me.
Yeah.
You got your feet onto the side of the tunnel?
Yeah, I have.
Right.
Yeah.
Take sideways step now like a crab.
Right.
That's the one.
Oh, it's moving.
That's it. Just that. We've got to get it moving first.
Oh, stuck.
So just push.
Yeah.
Nice easy pressure. One leg and the other like a crab. Just keep it going.
This is the first worst job I've ever done on my back. Oh, yeah, you can feel it actually in the muscles between your knees and your ankles, can't you?
You can imagine how you're going to be after the next 3 miles then.
This tunnel is the Mount Everest of legging. Even though the barge moves smoothly, we're pushing the equivalent of a loaded articulated lorry. Oh, how long would it have taken them to get through this tunnel?
About 3½ to 4 hours to take a boat through this tunnel.
But you didn't need someone who was specially qualified to do this, did you? Anyone could have done it. The bloke off the boat could have done it.
The trouble with that is what we call the non-professionals would actually take longer, sometimes up to 4½ hours. And this did actually cause a bottleneck, a traffic jam on the tunnel. So they brought professional leggers in just to speed the boats through the tunnel, really.
So these were professional guys who worked for the company and the only job that they did was legging all day long?
That's correct, yeah, but they did actually speed the traffic up. They could leg a boat through here in sometimes just under 3 hours.
How much did they get?
It varied a little bit. I mean, mostly they got about 1 and 6, about 7½ new pence per boat.
At the end of the grinding 3-hour plod through the tunnel, the leggers had to pick up another cargo at the other end and do the whole thing over again. So how bad a job is this? Well, I'm lying here, nattering away to Fred. It's a nice breeze coming down the tunnel. The bad bits are the water that keeps splashing into your face. That's not too bad. But the worst thing is just here. Those muscles just underneath the knee are screaming with agony. I've only been doing it for 10 minutes.
So put your back into it.